Today we're going to assemble a Verona Barcelona bunk bed, and to show us how it all goes together, please let me introduce Heather. Let's begin by emptying a sachet of glue into a pot. Now take a ladder rung and 2 medium dowels. Coat the end of the dowel in glue and insert it into the ladder rung. You may need to gently tap it home with a hammer, and repeat this also with the other dowel. We do the same on the other side, and then repeat for all 3 ladder rungs. Lay out the ladder uprights and rungs as shown. Coat the dowels on the rungs with glue and insert into the holes in the upright. You need to repeat this for all 3 ladder rungs. Now coat the remaining 6 dowels with glue. Align the dowels into the holes in the other upright and firmly tap into place. Make sure you have a good tight fit with all the rungs. Don't worry if you get a bit of glue seepage, it's easy to wipe off with a damp cloth. Now take the short legs and the top bed end boards. You can identify these by the holes at the top of the board. Now lay the board down with those holes towards you. This leg should have a black mark and a hole on the base, and the 3 large holes facing upward. The other leg should have no marks on the base but a large hole, and likewise the 3 large holes facing upwards. Turn over one of the legs so you now have 4 holes facing upwards. Place 2 small dowels in these holes. Now insert the dowels into the end board and secure with 2 coarse threaded bolts, tightening off with the Allen key. Do the same for the other side, then repeat the whole process again for the other end board and legs. Now take a bottom bunk end board and 2 long legs. This leg should have a red mark at the bottom. It should have the 3 large holes facing upwards, and at the top of the leg should be a small drill hole. The other leg should have no marks at the bottom. It should have the 3 large holes facing upwards, and also at the top of the leg the small drill hole. The end board should be positioned so that the top large dowel hole is closest to you. Assemble in the same way as you did for the top bed ends. Now take a side rail and 2 small dowels. Insert the dowels into the end of the side rail. Repeat this also on the other side. Do the same for the remaining 3 side rails. Now take a bottom bed end and side rail and position as shown. Take a fine threaded bolt and pass it through the bed end. Use this to guide the dowels on the side rail into the bed end. Draw back the bolt and place a cup nut in the hole in the side rail. Now screw the bolt into the cup nut and tighten off with an Allen key. Repeat this on the other side of the bed end with another side rail. Attach the other bed end in the same way, making sure that all the bolts are tight. We need to repeat this procedure to assemble the top bunk. Now divide the bed slats into 2 equal piles. One pile should contain both the specialised bed slats. The pile with the specialised bed slats are the ones we're going to use on the top bunk. These bed slats are for the bottom bunk. Distribute the bottom bunk bed slats evenly onto the bottom bunk. The holes in the bed slats are countersunk on one side. Make sure they're positioned correctly. Now secure each slat to the side rails with 2 small screws, one on either side. We do the same for the top bunk, but this time we place the specialised slats at each end of the bed. These slats prevent little fingers getting trapped in the bed. At this stage, if you wished, both beds could be used as standalone beds. Now take 2 long guardrails and 2 guardrail supports and position them as shown. Make sure that the guardrails have the curved edge facing toward you. Take 2 large screws and place them into the guardrail support as shown. Now screw the support to one of the guardrails. Repeat this for the other guardrail and attach the support at the other end in the same way. Your guardrail should now look like this. Now take the top bunk and position the guardrail as shown. If you find it difficult to get into position, temporarily slack off one of the side rail bolts. Make sure the guardrail is positioned as shown, then using 2 medium-sized screws, secure the side of the guardrail to the bed leg. Repeat this for the other side of the guardrail. Now take a tape measure and use this to locate the centre of the guardrail. Take a small piece of electrical tape and place it on the centre of the top rail. Take the guardrail strengthening bar and position it as shown. The top of the bar is sloped and should curve away from the bed. Now secure the bar to each guardrail using 3 medium-sized screws. Your top bunk should now look like this. Now take the top bed bunk finishing panels and place 2 small dowels in each panel. Position the panel shown and press firmly into place. And then screw the panel to the bed end using 3 medium-sized screws. And repeat this at the other end of the bed. Now working on the bottom bunk, place a large dowel in the hole at the top of each bedpost. Now with assistance, lift up the top bunk and place it on the bottom bunk, making sure all the dowels fit correctly into the holes in the legs. Now take 2 medium-sized screws and screw them into the holes in the bedpost as shown. You need to do this for all 4 bedposts. We're now going to fit the ladder. The ladder can be fitted to either side of the bed. Position the ladder as shown, making sure the bottom of the ladder is level with the bottom of the bed rail. Now secure the ladder to the bed rails using 5 medium-sized screws. Now take the 2 short guardrails and guardrail support. Make sure the 2 holes at the end of the guardrail are positioned as shown, and that the edge that is curved on both guardrails is facing toward you. Using 2 large screws, screw the support to the guardrail and repeat for the other guardrail. Your guardrail should now look like this. With the help of an assistant, screw the guardrail to the bedpost with 2 medium-sized screws. Now working from the other side and making sure the guardrails are spaced evenly, use 4 medium-sized screws to secure the guardrail to the ladder upright. It's important that while the bunk bed is in use, you check the tightness of all the nuts, bolts and screws periodically. Your Verona Barcelona bunk bed is now ready for its mattresses and its 2 little guests. Thank you for watching.